나만의 가면을 가볍게 물들이게 내 방 숨쉬는 곳 엄마가 잘못했다고 느끼
Do you want? Ano siya? Ay,
Đi nào bạn.
we are most certainly not all going to make it. And to explain why, let's look at the hierarchy. At the bottom, we have people who don't even want to make art. Surprisingly, this is actually a decent number of people. Not everybody wants to be an artist. Not everybody wants to make art. You could psychoanalyze these people all day, trying to be like, maybe they do want to make art, but they're just extremely blocked. And yeah, maybe some of them, but don't worry about it too much. Those are not you. Most people have at least thought about making art at least once in their life, so I'm going to say this is like 10% of the population. So the other 90% gets to stage 2. Then we have people who want to make art, but just don't. You know, someone who talks about writing their book for like 15 years straight without ever having written a page. They have the internal desire, maybe they like talking about it, but they never actually make anything. But the people that do actually end up making the art is going to be a minority of those people. Let's say 30% of the population actually makes art. But these people are only making art for themselves. They're not going to show it to you, they're not going to put it online, they're not going to send it to a talent agent or anything like that. It's just, that's for them. And maybe it is just for them, but most of the time this is a cope, and when you produce art, you produce it to be shared to others. So of those 30% of people, maybe 10% of people will share their art in some way unsuccessfully. Sharing your art unsuccessfully, by the way, is a prerequisite for sharing it successfully, but let's say 10% of the population manages to actually get their art out in some way. Maybe they sent you the manuscript for the book, maybe they sent you a link to their YouTube channel with 5 subscribers. Their art is out there, it's viewable, it's competing in the hierarchy of ideas and art. It's just not succeeding. The step up from that is when you successfully but unsustainably share your art. That means you get a one-hit wonder. You get a viral video. The casting agent calls you back. You start performing for money at local gigs. You're successful in that you're much better than a lot of people who put their art out there, but it's unsustainable in some way. Either you're not making enough money to live off of it or to get the motivation to keep doing it. You're producing stuff that's very successful, but you're not internally motivated to make, so you're going to burn out and go back down to stage 1. Or people just aren't interested in what you have to say or do as an artist beyond the one-hit wonder you have. It's successful for a time, but it's ultimately unsustainable. That's maybe 1% of the population gets here. You may have even had a viral video or TikTok. Maybe you were performing in a band or a musical for a while, but you weren't making enough money or you weren't motivated enough to keep doing it. If any of that applies to you, you're in the top 1%. Congratulations. This is the last stage. Sustainably and successfully sharing your art. You are making money, you are financially successful with your endeavor, but you're also doing it in a way where you can continue doing it for years to come. You have connections in the industry that you're in. You feel internally good about what you're doing, so you can keep doing it. Basically, you found a market for what you're creating. This is your end goal if you want to do art as a trade, and it's maybe like 0.001% of the population. And if that doesn't sound specific and niche enough, once you stay here, you can still fall back down over here. Once you make it, you have to keep making it. That's the sustainable part. Or else you just fall right back down over here. Maybe you become so successful that you get so much money, you no longer have a fire under your ass and your art starts to suck. And then obviously you lose your contacts, you get burned out of your art, and you fall down to not even wanting to make art anymore. Many such cases. Maybe you get tired of what you do and it becomes unsustainable for you personally. Or maybe other people get tired of you and it doesn't become successful anymore. At every rung in this ladder, there's going to be trials, tribulations, internal battles, external battles. Every stage along this line is going to make you hate your life and want to quit. And even if you get to the top, you can still fall right back down and all your work was for nothing. So no, we are almost certainly not all going to make it. In fact, the vast majority of us will not. But if you're watching this channel, you're probably insane like me and will climb despite the odds anyway. So have fun.
Do you make art for you, or do you make it for others? Are you making it for yourself or for your audience? Do you want to get burned out in 15 seconds because you're making stuff that you don't want to make just to soullessly appeal to some algorithm? Or are you making it for just yourself and no one cares because you're basically just masturbating on camera? Huh? Which of these two extremes is it? Is there a middle ground? Yeah, there's a middle ground, and I'm going to suggest following the middle because I'm a centrist. Yeah. Tell you a story. On my deathbed, I'm gonna tell myself, damn, I should have made more art. That's my last thought before I die. I already know this. And that's great. I appreciate that. That's been good for me. I like having an orienting internal force that tells me what kind of art to make. And yeah, I appreciate that, God. Thank you for giving me that. If I didn't have that, then I would be just spinning around in circles, disoriented, lost in noise, more schizophrenic than before. So you're a real one, God. Could have done without the schizophrenia in the first place. But beggars can't be choosers, I guess. Anyway, yeah, so my internal compass points me towards making art. That's just who I am. That's my core identity. Everything else is just kind of feels like a mask I'm wearing. The art stuff has always felt real. My internal compass points me towards making art, but then there's also this force of the audience that wants things from me as well. That is kind of the dichotomy that every artist needs to wrestle with. How much of this am I doing to appeal to others, and how much of this is just something that